I love muffins. I'm gonna have to figure out how to put you somewhere, because I think it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be hard for me to hold this. You'll have to tell me if you can hear me, or if the wind is too much all up in my thing. I don't know. I don't know if the wind is gonna bother this or not. But so my husband and I were sitting at the table, and we were just chit-chatting. We were doing one of our little talks where we just kind of like talk out random things, random spiritual things and whatnot. And there was something that came up that I realized really bothers me. And so I kind of wanted to kind of bring it up to the witchy community to see why it bothers so many people. Because the fact that it bothers people is what bothers me. And I'll explain in a second. So I have seen, there have been all kinds of things posted on this, and I'm not calling anybody out, because I don't give a shit what you do. You believe what you want to believe, you think what you want to think, that's fine. But I have seen a lot online, on social media, on different platforms about this and how upset and angry it makes them. And I just want to know why. So what I'm talking about is there's this notion. I'm trying to explain how to actually explain it. People are getting upset because there are people that are, I guess, basically they're saying, you know, you shouldn't be able to call yourself a witch if all you do is sit around and read and, you know, read books and watch spiritual videos, and, you know, you basically learn all the knowledge up here, but you're not putting it into practice. And so they get really, there are people that are getting really upset by this. You know, those people shouldn't be able to use the label of witch. They shouldn't be able to call themselves, you know, whatever label it is that they're using. And I want to know why. I want to know why. I want to know why that is upsetting so many people. Why that? I mean, really think about that, okay? So maybe you have a brand new, not even brand new, maybe you have somebody that's been dabbling in the practice for a couple years, 2 years, 3 years. So, you know, you have these people that are getting upset, or I'm sorry, you have these people that are practicing, but they're not practicing, okay? They're not practicing. All they're doing is reading books and reading articles and watching videos. That's not being a witch, okay? That's just learning about it. You're not a witch unless you put the practice into it, okay? Alright, calm down, okay? Calm down. So what happens if you have these new witchy people that are coming into the community? They're trying to figure out where to get information. Exactly. The Rainbow Witch's Cottage just said, why the hell not? I studied for 10 freaking years before I put any of it into practice. So there's the thing. Witchcraft, I mean, as helpful as all of us try to be, there's a bunch of judgy ass bitches. We're a very hard group to kind of come into, and I also feel like there's a lot of judgment against new people, okay? So you know, new people are coming into it, they're finding their practice, they're finding the craft, they're finding this place that they're trying to call home, to see if it's something that they want to call home. And, you know, so then they're looking up videos, because of course, you know, they try to message everybody and nobody wants to respond to them, because nobody wants to talk to, you know, somebody that's just starting out, because Why are you asking me these questions? You can literally go on YouTube and Google, how do I become a witch? And there's videos everywhere. So why are you asking me? So they go on and they Google it, or they look on YouTube, and everybody has their videos on how to do this. How do I do an altar? How do I set up my altar? How do I talk to the god and goddess? How do I cast a circle? How do I talk to the elements? How do I cast spells? There's all these how-tos. So then that's what they're grasping onto. Okay, they're grasping onto all these how-tos. So they're learning and they're learning, because witchcraft it's scary and it's very overwhelming when you first come into it, because there's a fucking lot. There's a lot, okay? So, you know, these people are reading everything that they can read because they feel like they're going to be judged, and they feel like they're going to do it wrong. Okay? That is, I think, one of the biggest and scariest things as a new person coming into the community and coming into the craft and coming into this practice, is they're terrified that they're going to do it wrong. So they don't practice anything. They don't put anything into practice until they feel well and comfortable that what they're about to do is the correct way of doing it. And that sucks, because there isn't a correct way of doing anything in witchcraft unless you are following a specific path. You're in a specific coven that does things a certain way. You're in a very strict you know, there's very strict paths in witchcraft, and if you're going in, not witchcraft, but if you're going into Wicca and you're going into like the Dianic tradition or anything like that, you know, there's specific ways of doing things. But if you're just coming into this as a spiritual practitioner and you are just trying to add, you know, witchcraft as a path in general into your life, there is so many different ways. Everybody can do things however they want to do them. But instead of us telling them that, we have all of these how-tos. And so they're following the how-tos, and we're recommending them books, and they're following the books, and they're scared because the information that they're getting is conflicting. This book is conflicting with this book, that's conflicting with this YouTube video that they watched, that's conflicting with this Google article they found, and everything is telling them to do it a different way. I would be terrified. You know, and then you have people telling them, well, you got to be careful, because if you call in the wrong thing, you could be in danger. If you call in, you know, then they're scared. So, you know, there's a lot of people that believe things that they want to believe. You know, they have certain beliefs, and they're reading what they can, and they're researching what they can, and you know, they're trying. And here we are, judging them, telling them you don't have the right to label yourself as a witch because you don't practice, because you don't put anything, all you're doing is reading books. Now, I wanted to say that yes, eventually putting things into practice is going to make everything that you're learning make a lot more sense. Like, it's really hard to learn something if you don't put it into practice. But I understand where these people are coming from. There have been years of my practice where I haven't done anything, and all I've done is read stuff or watch YouTube videos, because that's all at the time I felt like I was capable of doing, was reading and watching things and retaining knowledge. I didn't, you know, there was times of my life where I was really depressed and I didn't want to do anything, but that was the only thing that was going to keep me from rolling backwards down the hill and losing that ground that I already gained, was to keep knowledge. Okay. And Zoe just nailed it on the head. We should never tell anyone that they can't call themselves a witch. Now, what Kevin had said about this is, he said, if there are people that are upset that other people are calling themselves a label that they call themselves, so if witches are getting upset that other witches are calling themselves witches when they feel like they shouldn't call themselves witches, that is an insecurity on your own part. That is you being insecure. that is not to blame. Like, what does it matter if here I am doing my thing? Like, I have felt more spiritual and more connected to my practice in the last couple months than I have in the last 20 years I've been practicing, okay? And 8 of those years were probably spent reading and researching. I didn't practice every single day of all of those years. So, you know, if I, you know, I feel really good about myself right now. I feel really good in my practice. I'm actually doing things every day. It's wonderful. But who am I to tell Susie that she can't call herself a witch? Because all she's doing is, well, all you're doing is researching. All you're doing is reading these books. So who are you to call yourself a witch? Well, who am I to tell her that she can't go? Well, how is Susie calling herself or giving herself a label that makes her feel empowered, hurting me in my practice in any way? It's not. And it's not hurting you. And it's not hurting the community. So stop. Okay? Stop. I get really fucking mad. Obviously, here we go. I get really mad when I get online and I see members of our own community that, you know, blow into, especially the new generation of witches that are coming in, and they're like, well, all they're doing is this. What the fuck does it matter to you? What does it matter? Hey, Jacob, I just saw you because I was like, oh, he just posted on my other channel that was like, I can't wait for you to go live soon. And I'm like, you just wait, because I'm going live right now. Anyway, and there's a lot of things I need to read, but happy people don't put other people down. Exactly. That's, oh, there's definitely a VR coming. Oh, I miss video responses. Do you guys remember those? Oh. But yeah, it just irritates me. And I feel like instead of us being, happy in our own practice and happy in our own lives and happy to offer help. You know, one of the other things that Kevin had said, he's like, well, does anybody ever think of why these people aren't practicing? Why aren't they practicing? Are they depressed? Do they have a lot of anxiety? Are they embarrassed? You know, maybe they definitely probably feel like they're doing something wrong. They're not getting help. You know, everybody feels like they're too busy to help all of these people. So they're just going on to the tube, and then all of the people on here are giving them conflicting things because we all do things differently. So I don't know. All I'm saying is, who are you? Who are we to say who can call themselves any kind of a label? I mean, really, stop it. Because if you're a happy person, if you're a happy witch, if you're happy in your own practice, there is zero reason for you to put anyone else down about anything, but especially about their spiritual practice. I mean, I'm just telling you, the more that these people that are you know, studying and reading and taking this downtime in their practice to attain knowledge, you know, maybe they're not feeling that they want to be active, but they want to continue to keep their mind sharp and they want to continue learning. So that's all that they can do in their life right now. And they're getting online and seeing these messages and these videos, and you know, people posting about them being not part of the community because that's all you're doing. What if that's all they can do? Did you ever think about that? Maybe that's all they can do right now. Maybe that's all they got. Maybe that is them putting their best foot forward at the time, because they're anxious and they're depressed and they're tired and they, you know, you have no idea what they're living through. So so I think that those people, I absolutely think, if you're one of those people, I just want you to know that in my book, you are 100% part of this witchy community. You are, yes, Michelle, especially if you live in a house where that spirituality is not accepted. Sometimes watching videos and reading books on the DL is all you can do. So we really need to think about that. And you guys we got to start watching what we're posting, and keep your judgments to yourself, because there's a lot of the new community that's reading that kind of stuff. We as a community should always be lifting each other up and not putting each other down. As long as they aren't hurting anyone, then who am I to tell someone what they can and can't do in their practice? Exactly. And so we just said. I feel like we come so far as a community, like we're such a fucking good community, and then shit gets out where, you know, then we're being judgy bitches again. And it's like, guys, stop it. Stop it. Especially at this point when we're all in this lockdown together. We're all fucking quarantined. We're all at home. We're all doing what we can do right now to keep our mental state in a good space and our emotional state in a good space. And maybe reading that book is all that person has right now in order to keep themselves in a good spiritual space. Because there were years, let me tell you guys, there were years where reading witchy books is what made me feel connected to my spirituality. That's what made me feel alive, was reading. And it just so happened that now, you know, it's being outside, it's planting, it's having my bonfires, it's working with my herbs and my stones, and you know, working my mortar and pestle and being at my altar and lighting my candles. Like, that's what keeps me in the zone. It's not always that way. It's not always like that. And we all ebb and flow. You know, we are constantly, you know, sometimes people are going through a major shift where they are just in a dark place for a long time, and that's all that they have to keep themselves afloat, is just reading and researching. So just watch what you're saying, okay? Just watch it. And I mean, it's not everybody. Obviously, everybody on here so far seems to be in agreement with what I'm saying, but and I don't think anybody means to be malicious by it, but we do have to remember that there are people on the other end of what you're saying. You know, there are people that message that you're putting out there is going to, and these people are reading it. And if you thought that they were down in the dumps before, now they really feel called out, and now they're like, well, I don't think that this community is something that I want to be a part of, because I don't feel like I belong. So then they just completely drop it, and maybe witchcraft or Wicca or, you know, this practice was all that they had to keep them in a good place, and then you took that away from them as well. Not cool, bro. Not cool. So, all right. Hayden, the craft is a personal, individual, unique experience and journey. If that's what works for someone, especially in the beginning, then who fucking cares? Like, chill. Exactly. Everyone, like Julie said, everyone has their own path to walk. And Derry said, reading and researching is magic in itself. It absolutely is. Abso-frackin-lutely. So, okay. I did my rant for the day. I guess it was kind of a rant. I guess we got a little ranty. But just watch yourselves. Be nice. Please. I mean, we don't need to be another biggity asshole community. We got enough of those in the world of spirituality. We don't need to scare people away. You know, these especially new people are coming in, and they're scared, and they're trying to find their place, and they're trying to find their niche, and they're trying to figure out what the fuck they're doing. And, you know, it takes people years, fucking years, to understand that everything is correct, you know, that all of it, as long as you're not hurting yourself and other people, that all of it is is okay. That working with the god and goddess is okay, and not working with them is okay, and having you know, elemental representations on your altar is okay, but not having them is cool too. And working with herbs is awesome, but you don't have to do that. And, you know, casting circles is fun, but you don't have to do that either. And, you know, having a formal ritual written out beforehand, before going into it, is neat. But going into it, you know, without having anything in your head and just letting it come out is perf too. All of it is fine. And as soon as you figure that out, the sooner you are going to be so much happier in your spiritual practice. Just do what feels good. I know that that doesn't make a lot of sense to new people, but do what feels good. Hell yeah, you got Funko Pops on your altar. I got fucking Toothless on mine. Like, it's okay. All of it's okay. So do what makes your gut happy. Do what makes yourself happy. Work with your candles, work with your herbs, play with them. I have found that after I stopped writing things out and having like a, you know, professional, you know, I wrote all this shit down and I just went into things and just started talking, that's where my magic came in. When I just started doing things on the fly, I lit my candles, I lit my incense, and I just start talking. Because I fucking talk a lot. It's my Gemini moon. It's what I do. But I mean, I just talk a lot. And so just coming in and talking, like doing these live chats, I come in and talk. I never have a script. I never write shit down. So anyway, that's what I got. I hope you guys are having a good day. Thank you for being here for my little ranty rant. You are? I am. I'm an Aries sun, a Gemini moon, and a Libra rising. So, okay. I'm gonna go now and sit here in the sun. And I love you too, Miss Lady. And I'm sure I'll see you guys soon. This quarantine has got me being live more often than what I usually am. So thank you guys for being around and for being understanding. It seems like the majority of you are in agreement of what I have to say. But just please be nice. Be nice, be kind. Don't be rude to other people. Think about when you were new, how it would be really nice to have somebody take you under their wing and answer their questions. You know, I have people that I leave kind of sitting in my message, Ollie, stay, that I leave sitting in my messenger, and I'm like, ugh, I don't really want to answer that right now, because it's the same question you've answered 1,000 times, but to them, it's the first time they've asked it. So what does it take for you to take 2 minutes out of your day and answer a question for the 100th time? For them, it could be life-changing in their practice. Okay? So help your witchy brothers and sisters out. Be nice. We all gonna be kindergartners? I said be nice. If you don't want it to be said to you, don't say it to other people, okay? All right. I love you guys. Stay safe out there, and I'm sure I'll see you very soon.